Welcome, welcome, welcome to another episode of the Noon Report. Thank you so very much for dropping in. I am your host, Dr. Ron. Thank you for coming by and hearing what I have to say on today. And we got a good one, y'all. Y'all just need to stand by. Let me get this out of the way. The first thing I want to do is give a shout out to my mentor. My mentor, Dr. Hunt. He and I have been traveling in life together for 30 plus years. And out of those 30 plus years of traveling together, he has been a blessing to both me and my family, as well as I have been a blessing to him and his family. So, one of the reasons why I talk about my mentor as much as I do because I want to encourage you, the listeners, the followers, to get a mentor, someone that you can count on to be there for you to help you navigate through life. Having a mentor is so valuable that once you get one, you will not realize why you went so long without one. So get a mentor, somebody that you can count on, and then get a show so you can shout your mentor out. All right, so let's jump into this with both feet. The first thing I want to do is talk about we lost a major legend and piece of history on this week, Mr. Clarence Avant. Clarence Avant was a record label at one time, and he was also what you would say a mover and a shaker in the industry. Clarence, on his label, began to promote people that other record labels like Motown and others wouldn't pick up. He had rock and roll on his label, and he also had folk on his label. Speaking of Mr. Bill Withers, one of the greatest to ever do it. And I tell you, Clarence had tragedy in his family a couple of years ago, and at the age of 92 he passed away. And I tell you, he will be sorely missed. He was uh, a mover and a shaker. I can't say it no other kind of way. There were people in sports, Hollywood, music, that if Clarence said do it, it got done. If Clarence said fix this, it got fixed. He was just that powerful in his life, in his heyday. I know his daughters were with him in his businesses. He had traveled to South America, he had traveled to Africa. He had influences worldwide. And I tell you, he will be sorely missed. And our prayers go out to his family. Um, like I said, he had tragedy a few years ago. There's some people that broke into his house and shot and killed his daughter, not his daughter, but his wife. And I tell you, it was a tragedy that I know broke his heart tremendously because him and his wife had celebrated many, many years together in life, and now they can join themselves again. On this week, in basketball, they had the Basketball Hall of Fame, and Chicago superstar D Wade um, was inducted into the Hall of Fame. Now, I saw some of the social media conversation where Dwayne celebrated his dad, Dwayne Wade Sr., when he received his induction. And I thought that was so powerful. You know, there were other inductees. Shout out to them as well. But the one thing that made me call Dwayne Wade's name is because he honored his father on that day. He's like, look, uh, we made it into the Hall of Fame. And that was what he stood on. Like, we have made it. Dwayne Wade Sr. was there at the ceremony, as well as his wife. But I tell you, to hear him talk about his dad the way that he did was an honor for me to hear it. Now, I don't know Dwayne Wade personally, but I do have people in my circle that do, because he grew up in the South suburban area of Robbins, and he has been making social contributions back to the community. He's not one of those persons that went away and never came back home. Even when he was playing in Miami and still in the prime of his career, he made contributions back to the community. So shout out to all of the inductees into the Hall of Fame, but a special shout out to Dwayne Wade and his father, Dwayne Wade Sr. He celebrated him on that celebration of getting into the Hall of Fame. All right. The next thing I want to talk about today in Chicago, also, the mayor of Chicago, Brandon Johnson, has made a selection for his next superintendent. They had a committee of, I think, like 100 people had submitted themselves to for the position, and the select committee broke it down to three. And out of the three that were in the final three, he selected Larry Snelling. Larry Snelling was selected by the mayor to go on to be the superintendent of the Chicago Police Department. Now, he's a young man that came up through the ranks. He started out on the streets of Inglewood. He's from the streets of Inglewood. He patrolled Inglewood, and then he worked his way all the way up to a chief, where he was a chief of, I think, I can't remember right now because they talked about it. But, it's interesting, that he knows what's broken in the system. He's been there long enough to know what needs to be fixed and what he needs to work on to be able to help make the Chicago Police Department more effective at their duties. Now, at this point, I'm going to stop and slow down a little bit because I don't want to glance past this. But I personally don't believe that the police department really knows what's best for the people. And I'll tell you why I say that. The function of the police department is to investigate crime. Now, there are so many stories in the city that are where the police are part of the crime, but they're the police. They're a gang of their own. And police don't really want to stop crime because that is job security. So, throwing more police out there on the street, making more police on the street, more police, more police, more police, that doesn't stop the crime. You know, Police could be right there as crime is happening, and they'll wait because they don't want to do the paperwork. They'll drive in the other direction. And case in point, I'm not just making up things about the police. I've had family members that are police, that are no longer with us. I've had family members that were part of the problem. They're out there beating up on folks because they got caught, you know. And then, police, go to a drug house and raid the drug house. Where's the money? Where's the drugs? All this stuff don't get turned in. All of a sudden they got money missing because nobody really knows how much money was counted. They just know what they turned in. So there's a mentality of corruption within the system that has been going and living off each other and living off itself for a very long time. So I, for one, don't want to see police go away. I just want to see them come with a different mindset. Okay. I remember when they had a riots going on when I think it was one of the people got killed somewhere and they were protesting, and the police, white shirts, as they call them, supervisors, they had broke into one of Bobby Rush's offices, and they were sitting there drinking his coffee and eating his donuts while the riots was going on. Instead of being out there protesting, they was chilling. Like, we ain't going out there, when it's over with, we'll go write the report. And that's the mentality that I'm talking about. Police have a tendency to wait till the crimes are reported, and then when they get assigned to the case, then they'll go out there and write the report and turn it over to somebody else to investigate. Like, okay, we're gonna go eat some more donuts right now, drink some more coffee, and get this 12-hour shift money. And that's what it's all about, making money. But police do not listen what I'm saying. Police do not stop crime. Police investigate crimes. And every now and then they'll solve one. Case in point, when the off-duty police officer, the young lady, got killed last year, 2 weeks. That's all it took. They caught them criminals, those kids. They had them arrested, and everybody associated with them. So they can do the job if they want to, but they don't. Who knows how many other crimes have they solved, because we don't hear about too many of them. But across the country, police have the same mentality. Oh, no, we ain't showing up too early because I ain't trying to do the paperwork. Look, I might run into a real criminal if I show up too early. They ride around in task force all over the city of Chicago. They've got a federal, county, state, and local task force that's out there trying to stop the carjacking. But yet cars are still getting jacked. So why is it that hard to stop if you know who the people are and where the cars are going once they steal them? Really? I saw something today on social media in New York City. A young guy had a crash and was trying to flee, trying to run, and civilians tackled him. They said, well, what did he do? They don't even know why they tackled him. They wasn't beating him. They just tackled him. They said he just tried to run. He just hit a car, and now he's trying to flee because it was a stolen car. Well, he was caught. So I said all that to say, we as people and citizens, we got a part to play too. If we see some stuff, we need to stop it from happening. So don't come in this neighborhood with that foolishness. I remember my own neighborhood a few years back. We had a renter, because there's a lot of elderly people in my area. We got a renter, and his family had moved in and started slinging drugs. So I contacted my local alderman and police department, and I say, look, if you don't get this guy out of here, it's going to lead to other crimes. Why did 2 weeks later did he have a shootout at his drug house? Come on now. So we as citizens report that you need to get this boy out of here because he was a young man. You need to get him out of here before something terrible happened. We got kids and families over here. Came over here and shot up some cars. Nobody got killed by the grace of God. But when we notify the police and we notify public officials, they didn't want to do nothing about it. So I'm saying to the new superintendent in Chicago, empower the people, work with the people, and let's get some of this stuff stopped before it happens. So the new superintendent in Chicago, he still has a lot more to go through. He has to be approved by the city council. He's got to present his plan for what he has for the city going forward. Okay. So new superintendent, Larry Schnelling. All right. Governor J.B. Pritzker, the governor of Chicago, not Chicago, of Illinois, got to give him a shout out. I saw him at a press conference talking about Donald Trump. and his latest indictment. Now, JB ain't scared of Donald Trump. JB had to work with Donald Trump when he was the president of the United States. And JB is like, man, look, the stuff you talking about ain't good for me and my people. So JB went a different direction than what Donald Trump was trying to do when he was the president. And by the grace of God, JB had saved as many lives as he possibly could in the state of Illinois during COVID. Okay. And all of the things that the governor did, I applaud him. And he just bust Trump in the head to the white meat because he does not believe that Donald Trump was innocent in all the things that he did. Okay. So shout out to JB and the ability to be able to understand that, hey, just because you're the president don't mean we're going to follow you blindly and kill 1 million folks in Illinois. Now, just FYI, you know, when COVID first started, a lot of people may not remember this, but I do because I live here, that there were many international flights still flown in to O'Hara of sick people because the president, Trump, did not act fast enough. And he also allowed international flights to fly into New York. So New York, Chicago, and LA were the 3 major cities where he flooded with many international sick people. And when they came into the cities without checking them or putting anything together to stop these folks from spreading this germ throughout those cities, the cities were infected and were epicenters of germs and disease because Trump, as president, allowed those cities to continue to receive flights from countries where people were still infecting one another. Okay. Speaking of Trump, y'all know I had to go there. Donald Trump got his 4th indictment. Now, that's a major accomplishment. When you are a president, formerly a president, that had 4 grand juries convened in your honor, and all 4 came back with felony charges. I'm going to say that again. When you are a former president and you had 4 grand juries convened in your honor, and all 4 of them came back with felony indictments. Now, everybody ain't wrong, okay? And I'm speaking to those folks that love Trump so much that they think that he is being persecuted. Let's look at the facts, okay? 4 grand juries. And let me clarify some things. It is not President Biden's Justice Department picking on him because he's the front runner for president on the Republican side. That's a lie from the pit of hell. 4 grand juries looked at the facts and came back with felony charges. Okay? Now, you can love him all you want, but Donald Trump has been a criminal doing criminal things for a very long time, even before he was president. Okay? I just want y'all to hear the facts. Now, y'all ain't got to like me, you ain't got to love me, but the facts are the facts. Okay, 4 grand juries, 4 separate grand juries, 4 separate places came back. Miss Nina Ross says, "Not my boy." Yes, your boy. Your boy got 4 grand juries to come back with felony charges that he is going to have to answer to. And one of the things that he's trying to be president to do is try and stop the federal charges. You know, that's the wrong reason to want to be president. Okay. We've got a broken government. He's not trying to get into the government to try to fix it. He's trying to get into the government as president so that he don't have to go to jail, which is not going to stop him from going to jail in Georgia, because state charges in Georgia and state charges in New York, if convicted, now everybody's innocent until proven guilty. If convicted, he gonna have a problem on his hand. Now, going down with him on this last set of charges, you know, I got to give Rudy Giuliani an honorable mention, because he was one of his right-hand men running around the country talking about they stole the election. Well, now he's gonna have to answer in court to prove that the election was stolen and defend himself on racketeer charges. So, hey, the facts are the facts. Okay. So, look, I just wanted to give y'all, go look for yourself, read them, read the indictments. Don't take Donald's word for it that he's innocent. Read the indictments. Okay. You know, it's a very interesting read. You can go in there and find out for yourself what all the hoopla is all about. Stop taking somebody else's word for it. Don't take my word for it. Go read it for yourself. You know, it's a very interesting read, and I promise you, you'll see what everybody else has seen. All right, I want to invite you guys to join us here on Street News Now. We have a growing platform that we want you guys to come and be a part of. We got plenty of time slots. We got people that are interested in bringing their shows over here. So please go check out over at streetnewsnow.com and fill out the form, interested in doing a show, and we will have room for you. Somebody from the administration will reach out to you and help you put your show together so we can get it on the air, so we can grow this platform like we need to. Please don't forget to subscribe, like, and share. Please subscribe, like, and share. You know, we need you to spread the word on what's going on out here. We thank you guys for tuning in each and every week. I'm here every week at noon for the Noon Report with news and commentary. And I love y'all for coming out and hanging out with me. So anybody that don't like what I'm talking about, put it in the comments. I ain't scared of y'all. Come on down with it. But I will see you guys next week. I love you guys. You all stay positive, stay strong, and stay safe. Peace.